This is a code walkthrough for the example file LoopingForBackwards.java. This file demonstrates a couple of things. One of them is looping backwards in a for loop. So here's our standard for loop structure, and notice that this time our update is going to be counting down. We're going to use this to process a string by taking an input string, and we're going to prompt for that using JOption pane, and then we're going to take this string and we're going to cycle through it from right to left and invert it so that we can print it out backwards. So as always, let's start out by compiling this file. The first time through, we will set a breakpoint on main and start single stepping through this. So we've declared a string variable for the original string that we read in and an empty string for the backwards string that we're going to construct. We'll step through this. We're going to throw up a pop-up GUI dialog to get a string, and let's just enter some simple text. How about the standard hello world? Click OK, and we've read that in here as the string forward, and now we're going to enter this for loop. Now notice a couple things here. First of all, for our initialization, we don't have to have a hardwired value for the loop index. We need some integer, but we can calculate that using any expression we wish to. So for a string, we always know what its length is by this term right here, and what we're looking for is the index of that last character. So we back up by 1 from the length of the string. So this is going to be, let's see, for I believe this is going to be a 12 length string, so the last character will be at 11. So we're going to loop from index I equals 11. We're going to be looping down as long as the index value is greater than or equal to 0. So let's start single stepping our way through here. The first index is going to be 11, and we'll go through this counting down from 11. So our first I is 11, and we're going to construct this backwards string by appending to it the character at the ith location. So just a char at the ith index of the original forward string. So we're going to go through this again, counting down 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0. So now we've just put the last character on there. So we are now going to do the loop update right here. So I will now be -1, which now fails this test. So we're done with this looping. And notice what happens, as always, to our loop index variable. It's local to this loop because it's declared right here. So as soon as this loop finishes up, that I variable evaporates. And we've got our backwards string and our forward string. And then we'll use the show message dialog of JOption pane to display both the forward and the backward strings, like so. So that's all there is to that. So let's take this breakpoint off. Let's finish running this first. Take this breakpoint off, and let's free run this. How about A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, something arbitrary like that. Click OK. Original string, backward string. Okay, so what we've shown here is that a loop doesn't have to count forward, it can also count backwards, and we can use a for loop to process a string because we always know how big a string is through its length method. And also when we're initializing a loop, we don't have to have a hard-coded value. We can have some expression as long as it evaluates to the required int variable for the initialization of the loop index. Okay, that's it for this example.